I used to think nightmares were just figments of an overactive imagination, wisps of fear that faded with the morning light. But I was wrong. Some nightmares don't disappear. Some take shape, step out of the dark, and whisper your name. It started with the drawings. Luke, my 6-year-old, has always loved to draw. His pictures usually featured colorful scribbles of dinosaurs, superheroes, and our dog Milo. But a few weeks ago, his sketches changed. A man, always the same. Tall, thin, standing at the foot of Luke's bed. Watching him. The first time I saw one, I asked, "Who's this buddy?" Luke didn't even look up from his crayons. The man in my room. I felt something cold settle in my chest. "What do you mean the man in your room?" He shrugged. "He comes at night. He doesn't talk. Just watches." I forced a smile, hiding the way my skin crawled. "It's just a dream, sweetheart." Sometimes our minds play tricks on us when we're sleepy. Luke didn't argue. He just kept drawing. Kept adding more detail to the man's face. At first, I chalked it up to childhood imagination. Kids see things in the dark, shadows turning into monsters, tree branches scraping at their windows like fingers. But then, Luke started waking up in the middle of the night, screaming. I'd rush into his room, heart pounding, only to find him sobbing, pointing to the corner. He was here. He was here. Milo, our usually fearless mutt, refused to step into the room. He'd sit at the threshold, growling low in his throat, the hair along his back, standing up. Then came the whispering. At night, just as I was about to drift off, I'd hear it. Faint. Indistinct. Like someone murmuring just out of reach. I told myself it was nothing. I told myself it was the house settling, my tired brain playing tricks. I told myself a lot of things until tonight. I woke up to a noise. Soft. Almost imperceptible. The sound of paper rustling. I sat up, pulse throbbing in my ears. Luke's nightlight cast a dim glow beneath his door. A habit I'd insisted on ever since the nightmares began. But the light was moving, shifting like something was standing in front of it. I swung my legs over the bed, creeping toward his room, heart hammering against my ribs. The door was slightly ajar. I pushed it open and froze. There was a man standing at the foot of my son's bed. Tall, thin, just like the drawings. His back was to me, his posture eerily still. In his hands were Luke's pictures, the ones he'd drawn, the ones he'd been making for weeks. The ones I had tucked away, thinking they were harmless. Luke stirred, his small voice groggy. "You're here." The man tilted his head slightly, his voice soft, almost sad. "You asked me to come." I stepped forward, finding my voice. "Who the hell are you?" He turned then, and my breath caught in my throat. I knew that face. Familiar, but impossible. Older than I remembered, but unmistakable. I felt the floor tilt beneath me. My stomach lurched. "Number..." The man smiled. "Don't you recognize your own father?" "My father died when I was 13. A car crash. A funeral with a closed casket. A childhood cut in half. For years I dreamed of him. Imagined what it would be like if he had survived. If he had somehow found his way back to me. But this wasn't right." "You're not real," I whispered, my voice barely holding together. He took a step closer, the wooden floor creaking beneath his weight. I was never far. Luke sat up, rubbing his eyes. "He talks to me. He tells me stories about when you were little." My mouth went dry. The memories flooded back. My father tucking me in, telling me bedtime stories, his voice warm and full of life. I had forgotten the sound of it. But now, it was here, echoing from the mouth of a man who shouldn't exist. My hands clenched into fists. You're not him. His smile faded. You stopped looking for me, but I never stopped watching over you. The whispering. The nightmares. The presence in Luke's room. It wasn't a haunting. It was a homecoming. Something inside me cracked wide open. Why now? My voice wavered. Why through him? His eyes, my father's eyes, gleamed with something unreadable. He sees me just like you did when you were his age. The memory surfaced like a forgotten photograph. Am I 6 years old? Drawing pictures. A man standing at the foot of my bed. A man no one believed was real. Luke's tiny fingers curled around mine. He's not scary, Dad. I swallowed hard, looking at the man who wore my father's face. My mind screamed at me to run, to take my son and leave, but my heart ached. Because despite the fear, despite the impossibility, I wanted to believe. My father's voice was soft. You don't have to be afraid. Luke squeezed my hand. Can he stay? The weight of 1,000 settled onto my shoulders. I exhaled shakily. I don't know my father, this man. This presence, whatever he smiled gently. I'll only stay as long as I'm wanted. The house was silent. No whispering. No fear. Just the sound of my son's steady breathing. For the first time in weeks, he lay back down, closing his eyes peacefully. The man stepped away from the bed, his form already fading into the dim glow of the nightlight. I stood there, unable to move, watching as he disappeared. The next morning, Luke didn't draw the man. He drew a family of 3. And for the first time in a long time, I didn't feel alone. Some nightmares don't disappear. Some step out of the dark, and some, just maybe, were never meant to be nightmares at all.